All right, good morning, everybody. They told me yesterday that Mr. Alvey wasn't going to be here and asked me to share something. So last night I stayed up and I spent hours doing this kind of cool Bible study of different stuff. Maybe someday I'll share it. And I compacted it all together, literally hours, last night, late going, because it was an interesting study. And it was because I was going to share it this morning. And after that, I reread through it once, and it didn't make any sense at all. It was like jumping over here and over here, so I got rid of the whole thing. And I'm just going to tell you guys a little story. I may have told it before, but it's going to start our morning out with, I hope you, with maybe an upset stomach a little bit. All right. Back when I was living with my parents in their house, we lived out in the country, and we had, the house is kind of long like this, and my bedroom was on the very end, right? Very end, so far away from everybody else. Everybody else lived on the other side of the house. I had my bedroom over there. And one day, I was in there, and I noticed it was summer, and I could smell just a little bit of something. It was the beginning of like a gross smell, you know? It wasn't that. I'm like, smelled, did I spill something? Looking around, I didn't find it. Okay, a few more days went by, the smell did not go away. So now I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is not good. Maybe there's like mold or something. So I'm like looking at, there's a little carpeted area around the edge. There's an old house. So I'm like feeling maybe something in the walls, but I can't smell anything. I'm going everywhere. I'm thinking maybe it's my air conditioner, because I had an air conditioner. But in America, they're window units. So you just stick it in the window. The whole thing sits in the window. So from inside my bedroom, I looked at there's a filter, intake filter from the front, and it was a new air conditioner. I had bought it myself. I'd been working and finally got it. That looked fine. So I couldn't figure out what it was. This went by, add another week on top of this, and it's reeking, and I cannot figure out what this smell is. Really, it was starting to when a smell turns into a stench, man. This was fishy. It smelled like fishy and just gross, like something had died, but with a fishy smell on top of it. And if you're living alone in a room and a dead fishy smell just gets stronger and stronger and you can't find the cause, you don't want to sleep there at night. It was gross. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to keep the door closed so my parents don't smell it, because I know my dad's going to come in and not be happy about the smell. And if my mom smells it, they're also going to try to investigate. Okay. So I'm at this point, I'm going through my closet thinking there must have been a rat that died, and there's something dead that is making this smell, because it was your eyes would water sometimes if you got it strong enough. And there was nothing. I went through everything. I washed all the bedding, changed out my pillows, cleaned everything, looked under stuff, made sure there was no food. There was nothing. I couldn't find it. Until one day, I realized as I was by the air conditioner was pumping out cold air. It was running. It was a hot summer, so it was running. I only had this air conditioner for a month since I bought it. But it was pumping this smell right into my face, and I got blasted with it. And I thought, oh man, so I went outside thinking it's something, it is an air intake, but somehow inside, but then there's also some air intake from outside somehow. I don't know how that works. So I went outside, I was thinking there must be something outside of my room where nobody goes back there that's dead. Must be a dead animal out there. A cat or something, I don't know. So I went out there and I smelled around and there was nothing. I couldn't smell anything. Until I went right up to the air conditioner and I just went to the air conditioner, and it was man, that was horrible. It was like death, the smell of death. I thought, ah! And I immediately, there's something that has died inside this air conditioner, a week, 2 weeks ago, I don't know how long. So I ran inside to my room, unplugged the thing, and then I went outside, and I opened the window, and I went outside, and I took the air conditioner out of the window, and I carefully put it on the ground. There was water kind of dripping from the sides of it. So it wasn't draining properly. It looked oh man. Okay, brand new air conditioner. I was scared to do this, but I opened it up. Took off the casing on the back of the air conditioner where there's this intake. It's the metal, you know what I'm talking about. And as I took it off, I found the cause of the smell, the source. It wasn't a dead rat. It wasn't the cat that had crawled in there, because the holes on it were only this big. There's not enough room for anything to crawl in. But the source of the smell was the entire inside, all the space inside of the air conditioner was caked with black dirt. Black dirt was inside literally, like a huge amount of black dirt. And I couldn't figure out what it was until I bent down and I looked at it. And the black dirt, upon closer inspection, wasn't dirt, but it was at least hundreds of thousands, if not, I don't know, my imagination is going too far, millions of dead mosquitoes. We had a swamp next to us out there. It was warm, and the mosquitoes had been coming and flourishing. So what had happened somehow is it hadn't been draining properly, and there's hordes of mosquitoes out, and one mosquito gets sucked in and just traps there and dies. And that happened over and over and over until there was probably hundreds of thousands of them, because it was like a pile. You could have had a bucket like this. And it smelled, they died and they were rotting. So if you ever wondered, do mosquitoes smell? Yeah, they smell bad. They smell like dead fish. It was disgusting. It was the grossest thing I'd ever seen in my life, just because of how weird it was. So I got our hose from the side of our house was like a WAP, whatever you call them, the pressure washers, because we had a lot of water pressure on that hose. And brand new air conditioner, I took everything apart and I just sprayed that thing. And it took a long time to get all of those dead mosquitoes, hundreds of thousands, out of the air conditioner. I let it dry. I put it back in the window. I tilted it properly so it could drain, and it didn't smell anymore. My room, suddenly, the smell was gone. After like 2 weeks of dealing with this. Now, the reason I told that wonderful story this morning, because our lives oftentimes can be like that, and our walk with God can be like that. Without us being even consciously aware, we can develop little habits, little thought patterns. Maybe it's just the way that you were thinking about something or about some people, and it's not like outright, like we know that this is wrong, and I'm going to do it anyways. It's not like that. Sometimes we just accidentally start developing certain habits because maybe other people around us do it, things like that. And without us knowing about it, like a smell can turn into a stench. These things develop and grow bigger and bigger, and then we start to notice problems in our lives, almost like a smell, grow stronger and stronger. Maybe it's harder to spend time with God. Maybe you just feel like, something is wrong. Maybe God's promises, you're not getting access to these things in your life. Something is wrong, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and you don't know why, and you're looking through your life. I've been in the position before where I've thought I was doing everything right. I thought everything I was doing was completely on track, but I just felt like this heaviness, this darkness, like, man, something is wrong. This depression that you feel, and something's wrong, and you're trying to figure out what it is. So I had to ask God, Lord, like so many other people in the Bible, in Psalms, this happens. In the New Testament, this happens. You have people asking, Lord, search my heart. Look inside of me, search me, my innermost being. If you search and see if you can find anything that should not be there. People are asking God, and multiple times. So I've had to ask God that, what is it? You have to reveal it to me, because I can't can't identify what this thing is if there's something wrong. And there's been multiple times where it suddenly just occurred to me, and I believe it's God revealing it to me. No, this thing. Maybe you're making plans about your future that you shouldn't be making. Little things like that, where God's getting our attention. It can be a sin. Maybe there's a thought pattern. Maybe it's an actual habit, things like that God reveals to you in that moment, and you think, oh man, I wasn't even aware of that. But then once God reveals that to you, what you can do is it's like taking that hose, that pressure washer, cleaning out all those mosquitoes, and now suddenly the smell is gone. The darkness disappears in your life. So even Paul said that he had to keep track of himself. So it's a really good idea for us, if we're walking with God, to keep an inventory of ourselves sometimes. Ask God regularly, as Paul had to in the Bible, as Timothy was instructed to, as the psalmist David, most likely, who wrote that. We have to ask God, Lord, search me. If there's anything that I'm not aware of, that I need to be aware of, that I should change or do or not do, please show me. If we do that on a regular basis, we keep inventory of our thoughts, of our lives are going to go a lot better. Because otherwise, one by one, those mosquitoes can add up, and they die, and they create a horrible smell. And instead of cleaning out all the mosquitoes, we can just avoid them in the first place in our lives. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pray. Father, thank you for this day lying in front of us, Lord. Thank you for this week lying in front of us.